My book, Canon Crossfire, walks everyone through the case for Christianity as seen from the skeptical side and shows what a skeptic ought to be introducing to make this attack that I've outlined for you. It may look like a scholarly work. It is over 500 pages, but in many ways, it is scholarly work, but in many other ways, it's actually designed for someone who isn't a theologian to follow my argument. I built the book in 3 layers, and if all you want is that first layer, that's fine. You can read it on that basis. That's about roughly half the book. I view that first layer as jury exhibits. They're the sorts of things I would be explaining to the little old ladies on the jury and expecting them all to fully understand and follow along. There's detail in there. You might need Google or Wikipedia to help you a little bit, but it is basically just, there are these extra books. The Catholics have them, the Protestants don't, and here's the evidence. I think anybody who has followed a true crime podcast or a courtroom drama on TV should be able to keep up pretty easily. So those exhibits I use a lot of charts, a lot of visual charts, a lot of comparison charts showing you evidence for one book of Apocrypha against evidence for a book of the canon, showing you the different ways that Protestants, make a claim over here for what they consider to be canon versus what they say about the Apocrypha over here. It's basically a comparative analysis, makes the case, I think, pretty clearly and pretty visually. And someone should like that section of the book, even if they don't rely on the rest of the book. The rest of the book, the other half, is the actual quotes of references from the Fathers and from the New Testament. And I provide all of those in whatever, depending on each book of the Apocrypha, I did it in different ways. I provide those in the manner I think best suited for sort of conveying that to the reader. If I wanted to argue this case tomorrow, this is the book I would want, and I don't care which side of the case I was arguing, I would still want this book. This is the book that shows you exactly what was said, and you can read them for yourselves. And that was a real key part of what I was doing, and what I wanted to do with this book is show how I had done it and how I think everyone should be doing it, which is read what the Fathers had to say rather than read about what the Fathers had to say. I wanted to actually read them and see what's there. The only way to know what's out there is to read it. I found a number of things that people don't seem to be aware of. I point those things out, again, on that first level. But in the second level, I'm showing you what they really did say, how often they said it, where they said it, etc. The third level of the book is, if you don't trust me, and you don't need to trust me, and in some ways you should not trust me, I provide you the links and other citations straight back to the original evidence. I don't expect anyone to take my word for anything. I show you exactly where I got it, how it all comes from the sources that the scholars use, etc. For the Fathers in particular, well, for the Bible, I use the King James Version. For the Fathers, I do link to online sites. I don't feel like anyone should have to spend money to find these things. I did confirm many citations using books as well in multiple translations, etc. I personally view a lot of any argument about that as being kind of arguing for the sake of arguing. In bulk, quibbles over translations are not really all that relevant. But regardless, you have the ability to follow it back to the original sources and go from there. So I view it as sort of 3 levels. You can read it at any level. And somebody who wants to absolutely start over from scratch, frankly, you could start over redoing this kind of analysis in probably 1% of the time that I had to spend assembling it for you. It's now available to you.